Welcome to Completing Football Manager. The task is simple. Win every single top division on the game in one save on the vanilla version of FM24. Yeah, the task isn't simple at all, but it's a task I'm undertaking for the whole of this year. We're going to be taking on the ultimate test, the ultimate journeyman, and it starts here today in Malaysia. We've got our very first job interview, and things are getting exciting. A team predicted to come 5th, sitting down in 12th. They need saving from the greatest manager of all time. But the question is, are we going to get the job? And we've got our first job. Come on. As you can tell, Pastor was very excited as Code Roma Man have finally hired me. We've got a capacity of over 12,000, some very good finances. But the most exciting thing is the players. Ebenezer, Bacardi, Breezer, Squeezer, Geezer on left wing. We've got the British stalwart centre-back, Alan Robinson, who's going to be an absolute hero this season. We move on to Jubarev in midfield. This guy looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, how have we got someone this good to kick things off to beat our central midfielder? We've got our Serbian centre-half, Cigar, to play alongside British stalwart. And we've got Jonathan Balotelli. Balotelli is going to score us a serious amount of goals. But the question is, how do we get all of them into a tactic? It's a 4-3-3 attacking wing play tactic. We've got Ebenezer, we've got the boy Balotelli, we've got Jubarov, we've got Robinson, we've got everyone in the team as well as a bunch of Malaysian players. And the board were even kind enough to give us our first ever national sea license. And it was only right that we go in to our first game of the season. Let's get ready to go! Or maybe not. Rules in Malaysia are mental. After finally figuring out all the Malaysian registration rules, which are absolutely crazy, we got into our first game of the season and a 5-1 victory against Kalun. Took a hat-trick from this man, Ebenezer, Bacardi, Breezer, Squeezer, Geezer with a hat-trick, 2 from Balotelli as well, and a resounding victory, a 5-1 performance, and everything was looking rosy. Until we found out Ebenezer, Bacardi, Breezer, Squeezer, Geezer was leaving us at the end of the season to head to Dunkirk. And with back-to-back games with no goals scored, a 1-0 defeat and a 0-0 draw, I was feeling glum. But in management, there is no time for feeling glum. No time for feeling sorry for yourself. You get your boots back on. You go out there and you inspire your players to get a massive 3 points in a 3-0 victory against Sri Pohang, a massive club in Malaysia. And we put them to the sword. And we started off a run of form. 4 games unbeaten, 3 wins and 1 draw. And things were looking good. We did then have back-to-back defeats. But the board thought, you know what, this guy is up to the task. And I started to believe I was up to the task of completing Football Manager. It's only Nation 1, but you never know. We were into the cup competitions up next, and I thought, you know what, why not try and win a few cups along the way as well? The goal is to win the main division of every single nation, but if we can lift some silverware along the way, as well as the main trophy, why on earth not? A 3-1 victory in the first leg against Kuching City gave us a massive head start before heading away against them. A goal for us, making it 1-0. They got one back. We then scored again to make it 2-1. And a 5-3 aggregate, and we were in to the quarterfinals. And within the midst of all the mess of the cup, we had some exciting news for ourselves. We had bagged our first coaching license. We had our first youth intake with a 5-star potential 16-year-old goalkeeper. And Jonathan Balotelli decided he was not going to stay with us for season number 2. So losing our 2-star players wasn't looking good. 3 back-to-back defeats was heartbreak, but the quarterfinals of the cup was up next against Kelantan United, and we kicked things off with a 3-1 victory at their place. Something quite impressive. This is a team in the relegation of our sort of Malaysian Super League, and I don't think this is a competition which is very highly regarded. From what I can tell, it's a competition of the bottom 8 sides going to make them feel better about themselves. But you know what? A competition nonetheless. And we did end up going through thanks to a 3-2 defeat in the second leg. Meant we actually won on aggregate. So things were all fine and dandy. And we were through to the final of our very first competition. Hopefully we can lift some silverware. Sri Pohang was the club standing in our way, and within just 10 minutes they had scored, and within 30 minutes they were 2-0 up at our place. Jubarov managed to get a goal back to make things 2-1, and a ball down the line, and Partiban makes it 2-2. And for the first time, we had the lead. A goal from the edge of the box from Partizan, who has been fantastic recently, puts us 3-2 ahead. 3-0 as they get the header on it. A ball over the top, a mistake from the goalkeeper, and it's 4-3. And Cigar makes it 5-3. But we just had to protect a 2-goal lead at the Sri Pahang Stadium. The boys were amped up. The stadium was absolutely packed out. A 30,000 capacity stadium full of fans ready to watch us lift our first trophy. The first goal goes in. The second goes in. A worldie again from Partizan, and we lift our first trophy. Completing FM24 is off to a fantastic start. Of course, lifting that trophy was fantastic, but we are here to win the Malaysian Premier League. This is what it is all about, so improvements need to be made. The board gave us a grand total of £70,000 to go ahead and spend, and we saw Rosley set to be the most promising player in the Malaysian division. Well, guess what? £70,000 on the table. They accept our offer, and we signed the most promising player in the league. Now, with Ebenezer and Balotelli both leaving the club, we had some big improvements to make, meaning we sold over 125,000 players, and we needed some Malaysian players, some good Malaysian players into the club. So welcome the cavalry in. We signed a whole host of Malaysian superstars to come in, including the Lamberts. I've got no idea how they're here, but they're both here, as well as a couple of fantastic foreign superstars, which help us really make this team a team competing for the league. So welcome in Sebastian Torres, Chilean CDM, who looks absolutely fantastic, and our star man, Mutim Bonyaka, the Zimbabwean striker. Great determination, great pace, and great finish. And this guy will propel us to victory. We spent over £200,000, £125,000 going out, and the squad is looking like so. I think we're good enough to challenge for this league. And apparently the media think so too, placing us as the third favourites for the league. We start our season away at Sabah, where we got off to a fantastic start, a 3-1 victory, a massive performance to kick the season off. Our brand new boys getting involved and scoring as well, and it's our confidence couldn't get any higher. A 5-0 victory against Harini. I mean, the confidence was absolutely skyrocketed. It was through the roof, and I genuinely believed this was our season to win the league. Well, guess what? Back-to-back defeats is some classic Football Manager play, and we were down in 7th place. So we turn our attention very quickly to the Malaysian FA Cup, a game against Sabah, a 4-1 demolition. And what is about to come, ladies and gentlemen, is the start of an absolute journey. Second in the league, Selangor is up next. And the first game of quite simply the most ridiculous run you will ever see. A 1-0 win here places us in very good stead. Another 5 games, 4 wins in a row and 2 draws gets our league campaign off to a fantastic start. And you're going to want to see where that ends up. Back into the cups and against Terengganu, currently sitting 3rd in the league. We're going to put them to the sword as well. A fantastic 3-1 victory. We're into the quarter-final of the Malaysian FA Cup. Is it possible that this season we can go ahead and do the double? Well, a 1-1 draw against league leaders Penang is going to certainly help us with that. We are now just 5 points off Segor in the league, who have got in the semi-finals of the cup as well, because we've gone ahead and put Malak 5-2 down. We've battered them in the quarter-final, and we make a semi-final draw against the best team in the league. If we win this, we can win it all. Down the line, whipped into the back post. Of course, we're 1-0 up. A corner gone short onto the edge of the box and battered home for 2-0. They are going to get a goal back due to a defensive error, but we are into the final of the FA Malaysian Cup. But I hear you shouting, you're meant to be winning the league, don't worry about the cups. Well, how about a 4-2 victory, a 3-1 victory, and a 3-0 victory in back-to-back games? Before playing Selangor, we put them to the sword as well, a 3-0 victory. We are on some ridiculous form that I have never really seen on Football Manager. We are playing some stupidly good football before the final in the Malaysian FA Cup against Penang, the other team at the top of the league with us. We've set out our classic 4-3-3 formation. They've gone for 4-4-2 to try and disrupt us. Was going to work. Let's find out. The players are pumped. I am pumped. Potentially lifting the second trophy of this season. We're 1-0 down. We're 2-0 down. Wow. Well, this hasn't gone so fantastic. A penalty into the top corner, a ball into the back stick, and we level things up at 2-2. That superstar we signed, the player of last season, the promising player with a goal. That's 3-2, that's 4-2, and of course, it's 5-2. And we have absolutely battered them, showing our goal scoring prowess, showing what a massive club we are. It is all about the league, of course. But if we can, we'll lift as many trophies along the way as possible. In Malaysia, we have won the FA Cup. And the form just carries on getting better and better. 4-0, 4-0, 4-1. The form is ridiculous, and we are now top of the Malaysian league. 1 point clear of Senyang, and now in the background is just another 5 or 6 games where we are scoring goals for absolute fun. We are dominating teams, we are putting teams to the sword, and I told you, I have never seen form like this on Football Manager. You're about to see the schedule and just how much green is on it. We are literally tearing up Malaysia with a team predicted to come down in 3rd place. Another 5-1 win here in the first round of the second cup in Malaysia. The board are trying to tie us down to brand new contracts, but we aren't having any of it because we are 1 point clear at the top of the league. And if we carry on this form, we are finished in Malaysia. We could do that by winning everything in this final season as well. A 5-0 win followed by a 2-0 loss means we are through in the quarterfinals, setting up the semi-finals against Kuala Lumpur City, who you can see here in the league just before our semi-final games. We scraped past, and this could have been our banana skin. A 2-1 victory, but it's another victory to add to the tally. Before the first leg, we got battered 4-2. Set up an impossible task for the second leg. We go 1-0 up, we go 2-0 up, meaning we are level, and we are going to extra time. The ball's whipped in 115th minute. Surely it's over. It's not. A ball whipped into the back post. It's 3-1, and we go to penalties. And of all people, Jubrev misses the penalty, and we are out in the cup. And could that cup defeat be what spirals our season out of control? Selangor are second in the league, a game in hand. They play today and they drop points, meaning we are 3 points clear at the top of the league. We are 5 goals clear on goal difference. We are having the meeting about winning the league. Everybody relax. We're away from home against Pahang. They're at home. If we win today and they drop points, the title is ours. If we lose today and they win, it all comes down to the final day. We go 1-0 down. We bring things back to 1-1. And at this point, there was no doubt in anybody's mind that we would go ahead and win this game. A 4-1 victory made us the title favourites going into the last day of the season because Selangor actually won as well, meaning it has all come down to the final day. You saw our ridiculous form leading up to this point. The amount of wins we've had in a row is simply outrageous, but they've done it as well. We're lining up in a 4-3-3 against a 4-4-2 today. The players, they look nervous. It was nervous in the training ground yesterday. It was nervous everywhere. The league table is there for you to see, and we are top of the league. But things today haven't gone very well. They score early on. We concede again. We are 2-0 down. A ball over the top. We go through on goal. A mistake from the goalkeeper. Goal. He's offside. And as the timer goes down in the top left corner, things are starting to get worrying. But then we realise that they have lost as well. And as well as we've lost, we have won the Malaysian Super League. Nation 1 has been ticked off the list. Malaysia has been completed. This has been an absolute roller coaster of a journey, but Malaysia is done, and I'm so excited to move on to our next nation on FM24. Completed it, mate. Welcome to completing Football Manager and welcome to Indonesia, Persija, Jakarta. If you do not know what this save is, this is the game save in which I am trying to win every single top division on the vanilla version of Football Manager. You can see in the background fizzing around is our Malaysian save. If you haven't seen that one, that is going to be linked at the end of this video. But today is all about Indonesia, and Persija Jakarta are the team we are going to be taking on. They're predicted to come second in the league with an 82,000 capacity stadium. Stadium, which is absolutely ridiculous. We are in the AFC Cup, which is the Asian equivalent to the Europa League, and obviously 2 other cup competitions as well as the league. We have a few star players like Sito as our goalkeeper, Yama, who is going to be our star centre-back / CDM, Suleiman as our right winger, very much good pace, and Matsamura as well as a decent enough striker. We were lining up in a 4-2-3-1, but we needed some reinforcements in centre midfielder, so welcome Abdul Aziz and Raziki as well as Son Suk Young to be our star striker. 15 finishing, great pace and great determination. And here in Indonesia, there is a preliminary cup which you go through, and have ended up in the final against Persib, who are the favourites for the whole entire league. And they're going to go 1-0 up thanks to a Kuiper's header at the back stick. And this is a 2-legged affair, so Fabri goes through as the volante and scores to make things 1-0, but that is just the first leg. And we go out in this final looking to, set a precedent of what this league season could be. And Yama on the ball as the DM plays it through to our new man, Son Suk Young, and he blasts it home for 1-0, puts his name on the map, and straight away we lift some silverware. We've been here for 10 minutes and we've already lifted some silverware, and we're going to get right into the league as well. Yama putting us 1-0 up, Yama finding blast to Rafley to put us 2-0 up, Abdul Aziz out wide to Matt Samura, who's going to cut the ball back to Irawan, finds it in the top bins, Doki through to Novaderni, bets it in the middle, and they make it 3-1. Blast cuts it back to Rafley, who makes it 4-1, and after that first cup competition and that victory, I was confident this season was going to go well, and much of other victories go our way, and after just 3 games, we are top of the league, clear 2 points ahead of everyone else. But of course, things couldn't go well forever, and we are going to start dropping some points. A 1-1 draw here today against one of the worst teams in the league, and Pasiba, and the most ridiculous goal I think we're going to concede all season. I mean, what is he doing giving it straight to their striker in the 95th minute, and we lose 3-2 to Bali United? Luckily, we are a good team, and we showed that in the first few games of the season. We're going to go ahead in today and score some absolute screamers, by the way, and win 4-2. Son Suk Young is fantastic, and he has been brilliant to the start of this season. And luckily, we haven't lost too much ground, just 2 points off the top. But it's now time to look at our AFC Cup, and our first team is Baltazar Kausar, Naga World from Cambodia, and Yan Doborin from Myanmar, the 3 teams we're up against. And it was quite clear in these first 3 games in the group stage that we were going to be very much okay in this group stage. We win the first game 3-2. Pumagas finds Simanjuk, and he puts it in the back of the net for 2-0 against Yarandon. And then Yama, Hernandez Chavez, Yama blasts it home to make a 1-0 victory against Baltazar, and a 3-point gap at the top already in the AFC Cup. But of course, all that extra fixture congestion had to catch up to us, and a loss to Borneo meant we were sitting 5th in the league, just 1 point off the title, with NANS up next, who were sitting 2nd in the league. And we absolutely battered them. We won 5-0 with scoring some outrageous goals like you've just seen. And it was the easiest game we'll ever play. And it's the weirdest league in the world, because you can do that and then you can lose 3-1 to Borneo. And today is Arema, who are sitting 3rd in the league. And again, we're going to have a fantastic game. A few great goals to kick things off, a ball in the box. And Lakoli Ngoi puts the goal for them. And he was fantastic this season, making it 2-1. Yama scores for 3-1. And they're going to go ahead and make it 3-2. But it is another victory, and a 3-2 victory against one of the favourites in the league, Arema. A 1-0 draw against Persic, a 2-1 victory against PSS, before a 1-0 draw against Perksiabo. Leaves me changing the formation. The 4-3-3 has come out to play rather than the aggressive 4-2-3-1. I thought we needed a change, and we were up against Persib, the best team in the league, the favourites for the league for this first game in the 4-3-3, and we were fantastic. A 2-0 victory led us 4th in the league, 4 points off the top, but with a game in hand. Of course, we lost to PSIS, and we had to try and make up for it in the next one. A 5-1 victory against the Burritos, Patera. And then the next game, Son Suk Young scored this absolute worldie to win 3-2 against Persis, and things were looking much better in the league again. Suleiman from the edge of the box batters at home before Matsamura drives on the right-hand side to find Rafley to score 2 in a 2-0 victory away against Arema yet again. We were top of the league with a game in hand after some fantastic form, and we even changed the expectations to win the league. But of course, as you know from my time in Malaysia, it's not just about the league. I want to win as many cups as I can and become the greatest manager of all time. So I bring you back to the Indonesian Cup, and a scrappy 3-2 victory in the first leg against Bekasi City sees us heading to the second leg. And like I've said, this is one of the weirdest leagues in the world, because today is a 7-1 demolition. Hence why we're completely sped up, because I cannot show you that many goals. And we set up a 3rd round round tie against Dewa United, which will be very, very exciting when we get to that. But the AFC Cup is what we're looking at next. And 18 points, 6 wins out of 6, and a 1-0 win, a 6-1 win, a 3-1 win. We were through, and the League One window opened up, and I decided, let's make this team even better. Welcome 18-year-old, 4.5 star ability, 4.5 star potential player, Gabriel Pinheiro, who slots right into that midfield and looks ridiculous, and the whole team just looks mental. And when I tell you from here on out, things are going to get a little bit dangerous. We might be one of the best teams in the world at this point. Screw Asia. We are fantastic. A 6-2 victory against Madura United before going up against Persipura, where yet again we put another team to the sword. Sun Suk Young with a goal. Febrinato whips it in. Sun Suk Young scores again, and a 4-1 victory leaves us top of the table. 2 games in hand of third place Borneo. 5 points clear. And we do now have that third round game against Dewa United, and a 3-2 loss in the first leg at home sets up a very, very difficult away leg. Or that is what you would think. And like I've said with this league, sometimes you can lose 3-2 and then you can go and do what we've done here and win 5-0. Gabriel Pinheiro in midfield is absolutely fantastic. We put 5 past them. We absolutely destroyed them before setting up a quarterfinal against PSM, one of the best teams in the league. A 0-0 draw, a 1-0 draw, but we got our away goal and we set up the semi-finals, which is absolutely mental, the fact we're already there. We are 10 points clear of the league after 4-2 victories against Persicibio, Dewa, Persic, and league favourites Persib, who are sitting 4th and way off the mark. Sun Suk Young is having one of the seasons of his life. That finishing has been fantastic, and Gabriel Pinheiro, with a 7.38 average rating, has been also absolutely fantastic. And the wins just keep on coming, and you're about to see the free kick of dreams. It's like having Beckham with Sun Suk Young, because that simply is ridiculous. A 3-0 victory before setting up our next round in the Asian Cup against MacArthur Football Club from Australia, 5th in the league. We go 1-0 down, and this is going to be a very, very tough game. Sun Suk Young makes it 1-0 before setting up Matsumura to make it 2-1. Blast at the edge of the box to Riziki, blasts it home for 3-1, but it's not done yet. Vajika slides it home for 3-2, but we weren't also finished, and Sun Suk Young turns it home for 4-2, and we were through in the Asian Cup, setting up a final against Melbourne Victory. Yes, that Melbourne Victory. Hansa Yama was out for 6 weeks, which was absolutely heartbreaking, as was our goalkeeper. Awansito was out for 8 weeks, but that didn't stop us from winning 2-1, drawing 1-1, and then drawing 2-2. Maybe the start of the downfall was there. Just a 6-point gap now at the top of the league, but we were set for our Asian clash against Melbourne Victory. And I mean, just look at their team. They are set in a 4-3-3. They're absolutely fantastic. They are top of the league, and we're just little old Persija from Indonesia. Can we put Melbourne Victory to the sword? Well, I think if I was honest with myself, and if you guys are honest too, we maybe knew that Melbourne Victory would be a step too far. We very, very quickly go 2 goals down before Pinheiro shows his quality and finds Matsumura to make it 2-1. But we simply just were not good enough, or they were simply just too good, is what I would rather say. They beat us 4-1 here today, which means we are out in the ASEAN zone final against Melbourne Victory, but we have got our very own trophy to go for. The Indonesian semi-final, the first leg was a 0-0 draw before a fantastic match here. A 1-0 lead, a 1-0. Blast finds the edge of the box to Pinheiro, and he, of course, finds the top corner because he is special. Sun Suk Young, it goes in the box and it's cleared for an outrageous finish there. Sun Suk Young goes through again and slots it home to make it 4-1. It's going to be 4-2 thanks to a header, and then another outrageous goal here from Sun Suk Young makes it 5-2, and we are into the final of the Indonesian Cup against Madura United. But that cup final wasn't until the end of the season, and as the media article says, the title race is heating up. There is 5 games left. We are 6 points clear, and we need to keep up this fantastic form heading into these last 5 games. And in a resounding victory sets us up for good stead. A 3-1 victory against PSS. Of course, we are going to lose to Bali United. 3 points dropped, and just a 3-point gap now between ourselves and Arema with 3 games to go. It was going down to the wire, just as it did in Malaysia. It's not going to be easy, this challenge, but we obviously are setting ourselves the most ridiculous task of all. So let's go ahead and do it. This game was another ding-dong battle, but a 4-2 victory against Persiba sets us up with 2 games to go. We can win the title with 3 points today against Persipura, and of course we don't do it. and they were literally bottom of the league, meaning we go into the last game of the season 1 point clear. Arima away to the Burritos. We are away to Persis. They are setting up in a 4-2-3-1. We're in our classic 4-3-3, and as you can see from the title, it was nervous. It was time to win, and we had to win this game. Sun Suk Young, of course, shows up because he's an absolute legend. Before Sitho tried to bottle it. Luckily, 2 minutes later, Sun Suk Young got us 2-1 up, and with just a few minutes to go, the clock runs down, and we were champions of Indonesia. And the second nation of this ridiculous task is completed. Malaysia done, Indonesia also done. What a journey it has been, and in just one season we have conquered Malaysia, which is fantastic. But it's not over yet, is it? Because we've done the double. Can we end up doing the treble? We've got a final against Madura United in a 2-legged affair. The first goal goes in from Blas, who then finds Raziki to make it 2-0. A ball to the back stick. They keep things alive with the scrappiest goal you might ever see, but Pinheiro makes it 3-1, and the first leg was over. And as quickly as the first leg was over, the second leg was over as well, because we were fantastic in this one. And as you see the players walk out from the tunnel, there was never a doubt in my mind that we were going to complete the treble. We won the league, the Piala Indonesia, and the Presiden. Sun Suk Young was the player of the season. He was fantastic. Oliver Blas scored 18 goals and got 21 assists. Reo Matsumura was also fantastic, but it was time to resign from manager in Malaysia, and now we need to move on to our next step in the journey of completing Football Manager. If you've not yet, check out the Malaysia video. That is absolutely fantastic, and I'll speak to you next time. Welcome to India, and welcome to Completed It, mate. The series in which I'm trying to complete every single nation on Football Manager in one game save. Yes, it sounds ridiculous, but yes, it's possible. We've completed a couple already, and today we are in India. The video's already done, will be linked at the end of this video, but today we're here at Mohammedan SC, a team in India with a capacity stadium of 25,000. We've got Willian, the Brazilian, up front, but sadly we've got quite no idea how good anyone is, including Willian, because we've got no staff at the club, no recruitment, no physios, no coaches. And what we all know is that down in these lower nations of Football Manager, having good staff makes a massive difference. So I spent the next 10 minutes getting the best staff in the building, and now we can see our team. The goalkeeper, fantastic. Alex Saji at the back, Sajid Singh, a 17-year-old midfield, Parthib on the wings, Mohamed Masood Pervez Ahmed as a winger, and Willian, the Brazilian, as our star man. We can see all the potential here at the club, lots of 5-star players, but it was time to bring back a cult hero. Yes, that's right. If you watched the Malaysia edition, Panashe Mutembonyaka is back. He scored 27 goals in 26 games for us last time we used him, and he is simply incredible. So I signed him on a free contract, as well as this guy, Augustin Barrientos, a Argentinian right winger who looks fantastic, and a Moroccan right back in Hashim El Mahdi, who again looks fantastic, and they all improve our team a hell of a lot. All being 5-star players helps massively. We kick things off here in India in the Durand Cup, and Barrientos is going to introduce himself to you lot. He's quite good. A hat-trick on his debut is exactly what we needed to see before we go ahead and lose 2-1 in the second leg. Now, luckily, it's a group stage game. We've got Namadi up next, but we're not going to get the greatest news in this game. Panashe Mutembonyaka, our star man, is injured. And he's injured for 3 weeks as well, meaning he misses the rest of the Durand Cup. And how are we going to do without him? Well, we've got Delhi FC up next in the quarterfinals, and Willian, his replacement, gets one before Barrientos puts the team on his back and gets a second and sets up a semi-final clash against Kashi. Now, Kashi are going to cash in. They're quite a good side, and we lose 2-0 in the semi-finals, meaning we're already out of the Durand Cup, which is heartbreak before the season's even got underway, which shows how difficult this is going to be. Favourites of the league, Rajasthan United, are heavy favourites, and we've got 4 friendlies up first to go ahead and smash through before we start our league campaign, of course, against Kashi. But this time, we're going to cash in against them. Barrientos and Mutembonyaka put us 2-0 up before Kashi get a goal back, but they're not quite good enough, and we go ahead and get our first victory before Barrientos is injured for 6 weeks. But the league waits for no one, and we cannot wait for Barrientos to get fit. Mutembonyaka is going to have to put the team on his back for now, and that's exactly what he done in the first game with a 4-2 victory against Rail Kashmir before we win 3-0 against DFC. A very convincing start to the season without our star man, the Argentinian Barrientos. Is good to see a 3-0 victory, but sadly his replacement is going to get injured for 4 to 5 weeks. Of course, meaning we are down to our third choice right winger, but that is not going to stop us because Ahmed, our left winger, is going to move over to there, and he is going to be fantastic this season, as well as, of course, Mutim Bonyaka. Our goalkeeper tries to give them a goal and get them back into it, but a 4-2 victory is enough for us to beat Delhi FC before a 1-0 victory against Trau FC means we win our first 5 games in the season. 15 points, 5 points clear at the top of the table before facing second in the league, Serendi Charan, where we're going to go ahead and again do absolute wonders. A fantastic head dribble from our player there, making it 1-0, and a 2-0 from Ahmed means we are really looking like the real deal here in India. Mutim Bonyaka makes it 1-0, and it's another win, a 1-0 victory against CB before a game against Lajong, where Ahmed pearls an absolute screamer into the top corner. Rodriguez whips one in the back post, and Ahmed scores again before they try and get one back with Bwam to make it 2-1, and Mutim Bonyaka is awake on the sleeping defence, and he gets it to be 3-1 against Lajong, and our season is off to a fantastic start. Ahmed with the player of the month, us with the manager of the month, and we are top of the league on 27 points. But it's not over yet. Ahmed, another goal, and a ball in. Mutim Bonyaka, another goal. These two are simply fantastic. And the league, look at it. The amount of green is fantastic. And guess what? It doesn't end there because Parthib is back from hinge injury. He gets one. We get one from the penalty spot. Ahmed from distance. An absolute screamer makes it 3-0. Barrientos is back from his injury. He's bent around the edge of the box. And Jedav makes it 4-0 before Barrientos taps off a fantastic victory in 5-0. And we are doing wonders until Barrientos is injured again. And despite the bad luck of injuries to Barrientos, the season was going very, very well. We were top of the league, 10 wins from 10, and you can see a sea of green. And around, I believe, 14 games left to go. Is the Invincibles a chance? It is genuinely possible. What a 2-0 victory against Namadi FC. Set things up very well. Before we go a goal down, and we go 2 goals down, and on the 12th game, it might be a bit difficult. We're going to get things back here to 2-1. Len finding a backstick ball to Sanjeev. We're going to make it 2-2 with Sanjeev ball into Mutim Bonyaka to make it 2-2. Before the 94th minute, our invincible streak dies and Singh scores to make it 3-2, which is absolute heartbreak because how good it would have been to go invincible. And that just awoke a little beast in me as a manager and a little beast in the boys as well. A fantastic 3 goals here, seeing us 3-0 up against Cass is a very, very good scoreline. A great 3-0 victory and a great free kick here from Ahmed as well. He's been fantastic this season to make it 1-0 against Kashi. We're then going to see a 5-1 demolition where Barrientos is back from injury, finds Mutim Bonyaka. Barrientos finds Mutim Bonyaka again, and he's going to go ahead and get a hat-trick. A ball at the top, and Mutim Bonyaka rounds the goalkeeper to make it 3-5-1 today against Sawiva Delhi. We have just had our 100th game as manager as well, which is absolutely mental. We've already lifted 7 trophies, which is crazy. We are top of the league on 42 points, and Mutim Bonyaka has got 12 goals in 14 games, and Barrientos 6 goals and 5 assists in just 7 starts. And it's not even going to finish there because Barrientos is going to show his quality. He's going to grab 2, he's going to grab 3, a double penalty and a hat-trick, a 4-1 victory against Delhi FC before Barrientos finds the star man, Mutim Bonyaka. Our 2 signings have been simply fantastic, and Mutim Bonyaka doesn't grab a hat-trick today, but does brand a brace after rounding the goalkeeper that time, and things are just fantastic. A 1-0 victory against Deccan before a 2-0 victory against CB sets up a potential title win after just 19 games in the Indian League, setting up a tie against Lajong. But in probably the most anticlimactic way possible, we've already won the league. We bring glory to Mohammedan and we set up a lovely little guard of honour by Lajong. And we've won the title after just 19 games in India, which is absolutely mental. I'm not quite sure I'm ever going to do it so quick ever again in the next 56 nations, but a nice little guard of honour is a great way to kick off a game at home. We get to lift our trophy in our own stadium. We've already got it all secured with around 6 games to go in the season, and we're going to go ahead and of course win this game as well. Barrientos into Mutim Bonyaka, finds Singh back into El Mahdi to make it 2-0, and we lift the trophy already. It's absolutely mental how we're already here, but we've done it. It's just 6.5 minutes into the video and we have lifted the Indian trophy. I mean, it's absolutely... I had no plans of how on earth we have done it so quickly. We've set a record for points haul. We've set a record for the most league wins. We've set a record for the most goals. We really were record breaking India, and there's no point in wasting your time too much. So a 4-0 win, a 5-2 win, a 3-0 loss, and a 3-0 win finishes off our season here in India. And you can see from the form, we were just absolutely fantastic all season long. The signings of Mutim Bonyaka and Barrientos certainly help us. 66 points, 20 points clear is very, very good to see. And Mutin Bunyaku with 19 goals and 22, and Barrientos with 23 goal involvements in just 15 games. Ahmed, the player here, already at the club, 12 goals and 7 assists, and we have now managed 148 games, 108 games won, but it's time to retire from Mohammedan. Not retire, resign. We've got a long way to go until we retire, many, many leagues more to go ahead, and like I said at the start of the video, if you've not already seen Indonesia and Malaysia, they are down there in the nice little plays for you guys to go ahead and watch. Make sure you enjoy them, and thank you for watching. Strap yourselves in for the most dramatic season you're ever going to see on a Football Manager. Today we are taking over Eastern Salam Football Club in Hong Kong, a team predicted to come in the top 3 and a very decent side at that as well. We're going to look to take the hot seat and look to try and take on our next mission in completing Football Manager. It's not going to be easy, we know that. We've got lots of competitions to play in, including the AFC Cup, which is great, and some superstars like One Way Kit, Yu Yoi-jin, Wong Ho Chun, Justin Trinidad, and finally Lo Chiak Fung as a fantastic young midfielder, setting up a 4-2-2 formation, but it's probably going to move to a 4-2-3-1 narrow because we're going to make some signings like Henrique Martins, a very slow but good ball playing midfielder, and the most meta right back you're ever going to see, Big Gabriel. Now, his stats aren't great, but his name says it all. We're going to get into our first game of the season, and from watching these highlights, you would not think this is the first time we'd managed these boys. It was a fantastic performance. One Way Kit makes it 3-0 in 25 minutes. Meta into Yat, who is actually our left back in the right wing. A fantastic cutback there to Trinidad to make it 5, and Martins puts his name on the map with a 6-0 win. A 3-2 win in our next game before the Sapling Cup up next. So the Sapling Cup pretty much lasts all season. So we're going to have to do this in chunks. We're going to play a few games now here. We're going to get off to a great start in the Sapling Cup as well. A 3-2 victory against one of the better sides in our little group stage. Basically, you get put into 6 and 6, and we see who's going to get into the semis and the final. But like I said, it's a cup that runs forever by the looks of it. So a 3-2 victory in our first game before setting up a game against Liman in the cup as well. And these are the best team in the league. Liman and Kitchi is who we have got to wait out for. We are 2-1 down at this point before getting it back 2-2 thanks to a fantastic goal from Justin Trinidad. And again, that is our biggest competition in the group. A 3-0 win against the North District before a 1-0 victory against Taipo sets us top of the league on 10 points. We are second in the league in the actual league as well. We've got Taipo up next again. A 2-1 victory. Some fantastic goals from them to kick things off. But Jamie Wood is here, and Jamie Wood bags a brace to kick things off in this one. A 2-1 victory and a very impressive performance before we go into the next game and we show just how dominant we can be. Some fantastic football there before our centre-back blasts it home for 2-0, a 2-1, and then Martins into Wong Chun Man and 3-1. A fantastic touch this season. Already, we are looking very good. A 2-0 victory against Rangers, and then we set up a game against Resources Capital, and Jamie Wood, ladies and gentlemen, he is a 1-star player, gets another goal. Martins makes it 2 from the spot. 2-1, a perler from range. Yat, the left-back, he is very attacking, and he makes it 3-1, and we are top of the league after 6 games. And things are looking absolutely stunning. We've got the Senior Shield up next, the first round. Again, it's very weird how it's all worked out. We're going to go 1-0 down. We're going to go 1-all from across into the front post. A ball over the top to make it 2-1. Metcalf, the keeper, had an absolute stinker there before the greatest own goal you'll ever see. FM is broken, all right? We all know that. We win on penalties and we go through the first round and set up the quarterfinals against C&W District, who we're going to, again, get past quite easily. Martins with a brace was fantastic in this game. A fantastic signing already, it's showing. We set up the semi-finals, which is going to be against C&W District. Now, we've got lots of games to play in the league before we get there. A 4-0 victory was there in the C&W game. We've got a 3-0 game against Kitchi now, where we're going to go ahead and, again, just to play fantastic. We are such a good side. Like I mentioned, Kitchi are one of the best teams in the league. We're going to dominate them 3-0. A fantastic performance. Maxwell Boyake is a new signing that's come in. 4.5-star player. Looks brilliant on a free contract. And we're going to take that into a 1-0 victory against Liman. We're going to now go ahead and play against Taipo again. And the games come thick and fast because we do not just have the league to play in this one like a few nations like India and the next nation we're recording. It's just the league. We have 5 competitions and the games just did not stop coming, but neither did our form. We were superb. A 4-1 victory against Taipo and sets us 10 games, 10 wins in the league. And believe it or not, there's yet more competitions to go ahead and play. Like the AFC Cup, we haven't even touched on it. We're playing April 25 Sports Club from North Korea, Asocial Deportivo from Moncau, and Salanje from Mongolia. We're going to go very well in this, let's be honest. A 4-1 victory to kick things off, a 1-1 draw against April 25 qualifier before a fantastic performance in the third game in the group stage. A 4-1 victory where, again, we showed our dominance, we showed our class. But for me, what we saw earlier on in the sort of completing FM universe we've got, the AFC Cup should be quite easy for us. There's a lot of nations that aren't playable, so we're going to go ahead and pretty much storm through it very easily in the group stage. I'm going to show you too many highlights, but the games we won 4-1 and 5-1 were against the same team, which I feel a bit bad about for showing us demolishing them twice. But you know what? Why on earth not? Goals galore, and we do score a lot of goals, and that is always fun to go ahead and watch. One-way kit has been fantastic this season, and an absolutely catastrophic mistake from the goalkeeper. Jesse bears down on goal and makes it 5-1, and we are through in the AFC Cup very easily. 14 points, 3 points clear of our competition, but we cannot wait around because the Hong Kong FA Cup is up next, and a 7-1 victory against CNW District gets us quite easily on to the quarterfinals, where of course we draw Kitchi, because why wouldn't we get the hardest teams? But it doesn't even matter. We are literally fantastic. A 2-0 victory gets us through the quarterfinals in the FA Cup of Hong Kong and sets up a semi-final, which I'm buzzing for. But we've got the Hong Kong Senior Shield first, because games do not stop. Different competitions, left, right and centre, and it's hard for me to keep up with, let alone you lot. A 1-0 victory is fantastic, but our best player is injured for 8 months with a broken ankle, which is awful news. We do set up a final, which is great, against Kitchi again, before going back into the Sapling Cup and more cup competitions, but more victories. And for the first time, we are actually in a position where everything is clear. We are smashing it, and we're even going to get a nice little consortium takeover, which is fantastic for the club. Maybe not for us as a manager, but for the club, it's brilliant. We've got Hong Kong Senior Shield Glory hopefully coming up, where we face Kitchi in the final. A packed out stadium took this game to penalties. It was a 1-1 ball draw, but as you can see, I was live on stream and things were mental. It was an absolutely fantastic game. We were singing "We Are the Champions" and it was pure vibes. And if you haven't seen myself over on stream, come over. Link is in the description down below. It is always good vibes over there, and we play this live on stream as well. But a 1-1 win on penalties was fantastic to lift our first trophy here in Hong Kong, which is important because we have to win trophies, but mainly it's all about the league. And like I said, 10 games, 10 wins, a good start. We make it 4-3 to make it 11 and 11, but we are finally going to not win a game. We don't lose. We could still go invincible, but a 1-1 draw against Yuen Long before a 3-1 draw against Southern District means we were no longer running away at the top. And I did say there was going to be some drama. But first off, the AFC Cup, where we head over into North Korea, where we're going to get our first game off to a start of a fantastic chip before they come back and make things 1-1. We're going to get a ball through to One-Way Kit, who, like I said, was fantastic this season for 2-1. It's a proper ding-dong battle here because back and forth, it's 2-1. And for the first time, they take the league to make it 3-2. But we are going to get a goal back and take things back to Hong Kong at 3-3 against Rimon Yongsu. And it's a very, very tough game to go ahead and win at home. We'll have to see. A 1-0 goal puts us 1-0 up. They're going to put it through. Oh, no, that's them, sorry. One-Way Kit makes it 1-0. They make it 2-1 and we are down, but we are not out. Wong Chun man at the back stick before a third to make it 3-2. A bicycle kick in a final makes it 3-2. What a win. We have won the final of the East Asian Zone final, but now we face Persija Jakarta. Remember these guys? Remember these players? Our old team. They are favourites because they are fantastic, and we built an absolute masterclass in this team. But have I built one better this time? We go 2-0 up before they get one back to make things 2-1, and that was at our home stadium. Before I go back to Persija, where surely there's a standing ovation for the greatest manager in Persija's history, there's a lot of players in that team that ring bells to us. Gabriel Pinheiro, Son Suk Young, Blas, they're all fantastic, but we have to put that aside. We go 2-0 up, meaning we were basically through, and the black and white has started. The music has started, because my old club have absolutely destroyed us. They were no holes barred. We're going to get one back to make me feel better, but Son Suk Young and Gabriel Pinheiro, I miss you so much. They are so good. A 7-3 battering against our old club is a little bit heartbreaking, but we have to take it in our stride. Back into the league, a 4-3 victory before a 1-1 draw. We are out of the AFC Cup to get that clear. A 2-0 victory here against Resources Capital was a good way to bounce back before a 5-2 victory against North District, and the title race is heading to the wire. And of course, the team we're facing is Le Mans, the best team in the league, and the team chasing us down for the title. They beat us 2-0 in a very difficult game. That is not what we want to see. And like I said, it is going to get dramatic. This season is going to come down to the complete and utter wire. We do, come back with a lovely 6-2 victory against Rangers Hong Kong, which is good to see because after a demoralising 2-0 defeat and quite a lot of draws recently as well, I was starting to think, are we slipping off? Are we tumbling down this table? But this victory, restored my faith in Eastern SC. And we were still top of the league, 1 point ahead, but they did have a game in hand. Now, we do have the completed Sapling Cup, which is great, and a game up next against C&D-W District, which is in the quarterfinals. I believe we're going to go ahead and get a goal before we concede. And we concede again. A 2-1 loss is not what you want to see in the semi-final. And we are not looking good. We're back into the FA Cup, however, and we are looking good here. There is so many competitions. It's absolutely wild in Hong Kong. If you're doing a Hong Kong save, good luck to you, okay? It's great fun, but there is 5 competitions when you become good, which is worrying. A fantastic performance here. A 4-1 victory against Southern District. We're through to the final. Huzzah! We've got Le Mans, of course, our arch nemesis rivals. Back into the league, a 5-2 victory before we face Kitchi, the second best team in the league, but they've got absolutely nothing on us or Le Mans. They have been pony this season compared to us two. A 4-0 victory, a complete and utter demolition derby, a hat-trick from new signing Maxwell Boyake as well, and things were looking good. We were second in the league because of goal difference and going in to the last game of the season. Not what I wanted to be hearing. A goal for them, a 1-1 draw, and the title wasn't ours. Wasn't ours. It was absolutely heartbreaking that we weren't actually going to win the league. It finished 1-0, but FM has a weird way of working things out. Kitchi have been pony all season, but they played against the man in the final day of the season, and they must have got us a result because a draw wasn't good enough. We had to beat them on points. We had to win or they had to lose, and we drew, which meant they lost. And we won the league, and you can see Kitchi with a 2-0 victory. We won the league by a point. The most outrageous season I've ever had on FM. Going into that final day, I was absolutely heartbroken. We were named manager of the season. We were dominant in this season. A double has been completed before the Hong Kong final, where we faced against Le Mans, our arch nemesis rivals, where at this point I was sure they were too good. They were much better than we were. They deserved to win the league. We bottled it at the end, but we still won the league, and we are so lucky because we'd have to have done a second season. It would have been another season of 5 trophies, which I wasn't about. Now, we are going to go into this game on penalties, and our fantastic silence Henrique Martins misses the penalty, and Look Chi Young scores for Le Mans, which, is heartbreaking. We don't get to lift this trophy. The Hong Kong FA Cup would have been one I wanted to lift, but we have to stand here and, congratulate them because you've done a good job. You pushed us all the way this season, but we know we were better in the league, which is what it was all about. And we have to move on from Le Mans. We will get over it, all right? We'll get over it. It's been a long season, 5 competitions. We've won 2, the most important one being the league, which means we can move on. Wong Wei Kit was fantastic this season with 32 goals. Wong Ho Chan with 17 goals, 13 assists. Henrique Martins, 15 goals and 4 assists. The most meta right back in the world was fantastic. And Maxwell Boyake as a mid-signing signing for 11 goals was great. We've now played 197 games. We're looking good, but it's time to move on from Eastern SC. Now, if you don't know, this is part of a mission where I'm looking to complete Football Manager, winning every single division on the vanilla version of Football Manager. That's every single top division. You can see fizzing around in the background was the last one we've done in India. If you want to watch that one, the link for that is right there. It's an absolute banger. Today on Football Manager 2024, completed it, mate. We take over Geylang International in Singapore, the lowest rated nation on the game. They've got a stadium capacity of 5,000 people. What a decent enough 4-2-3-1 team set up off the bat. We are considered the 3rd best team in the league with favourites Sailors and Tampines. Clear favourites at the top, but we have got a few star players to build this squad around. So welcome in a few of the players like Asman, Kieran Teo, Shakifi up front, Ahmad in goal. And we are looking to sign Peruvian striker Ronald Boutron to kick things off. He looks fantastic for this level, as does 5-star Brazilian centre-back Cristiano Muniz. We've basically got our own boys in already, as well as Kim Si in, the South Korean central attacking midfielder, who again is looking to tear up this league, as well as a few Singaporean players to come in and help with registration rules. The lucky thing about things in here in Singapore is there is only one league to contend with, not the 15 of Hong Kong that we had last time out, which is absolutely beautiful. And in our first game in Singaporean football, we got off to an absolutely fantastic start of a 7-2 victory against Tanjore Panjang. A ridiculous start to life in Singapore, and one that we couldn't have wished for a better ball. A ball in from Noor at the back stick, and Kim Si-in gets himself on the mark for his debut, which is beautiful to see. And we were absolutely fantastic in our Singaporean debut, and the goals just kept on coming this one. 7-2, a dominant performance, and a great way to kick off our Singaporean debut. Kim Si-in from the spot before Azman makes it a second, and we are 2-0 up. Hubert whips it in the box, and it's 2-1. Kim Si-in to the back of the box to Azman, whipped in the back stick. Kieran Teo for 3-1 against DPMM, and another decent side. And we've reached 200 games in management in this completed FM world, which is unbelievable how we are here already. A long ball through, and Solomon scores for the opposite team when Shakithi brings it into Azman to make things 1-1. Azman then through the middle to Ronald Boutron, who's back from a little injury from the start of the season. It's a 2-1 win against Hugong United, and that is our 200th game. 147 wins, a 73% win ratio is fantastic, and the wins didn't stop there either. Back-to-back in the league, left at 6 wins in a row, and we were on top of the league and playing fantastic before we faced Sailors up next. And they are one of the best teams in the Singaporean league as well. So today was going to be a very, very difficult task. We play each team 3 times in the season, twice away from home against the Sailors, but our first game at home was a 2-1 victory before drawing 1-0 against Tampines, the second best team in the league, and a 2-2 draw against Albirex kept our unbeaten run going before Axman finds Azman in the box for 1-0 against DPMM, making it 10 games unbeaten to kick off our start in the Singaporean league. 7 wins, 2 draws out of 9 games, 1 from last season, which obviously we weren't in charge for. We'll take the 10-game unbeaten streak, and we're not going to finish it just yet. We are a fantastic side to kick things off, playing in that 4-1-2-1-2 system that you saw at the start. We have been fantastic. A 3-0 victory against the team we beat 7-2 at the start before we got our first loss. A 1-0 defeat. Absolute heartbreak for Hugong United beating us. We do get our National B licence and get offered a brand new contract, which we'll swiftly decline as we are looking to move on. Every single year we win a trophy. So Razak from the spot before Bootram from the spot gives our winning spree back, and we stop the losing rot after just 1 game. A 2-0 victory before then a goal from McCoy. Whips the back stick is Vidya, who gets a ball in to McCoy again, and McCoy is an absolute issue. Then whips it into the back stick again, and they're 3-0 up, and they're about to go 4-0 up. Wang Nicholas, a fantastic name. Baltazar, 4-0. Absolutely battered, and the league title was not a runaway despite our fantastic form. We face the Sailors yet again. Aziz, and I mean, it's just a fantastic bit of play there to make it 1-0 for Zafiki. Whips it in to Aziz to make it 2-0. Boutron from the spot does absolute bits. Abdullah in the back stick. It's 3-2. And this is the moment that is my favourite moment of all time on Football Manager. This is a clip that has gone pretty much viral over on TikTok in terms of FM anyway. And I made this ridiculous 3-1-3-1-2 tactic. And in the 91st minute, live on stream, an absolute madness happened where Boutron whips it into the front post. Kim Si-in scores. And we had to go a little mental. Drop the grid in. If you want to see moments like this on Twitch, feel free to come over. The link is in the description down below. It is absolute chaos, and we get a lucky 3-3 draw with a fantastic 3-1-3-1-2. Let's go, I say in real life. And a 3-3 draw is a fantastic, fantastic result. We then signed Eduardo Garcia, a 4.5-star Uruguayan striker who looks absolutely fantastic. And Big Wang Nicholas, who just scored against us, we decided to bring him in as well. The absolute hero of the stream, Wang Nicholas, looks fantastic. And we go into our next game when Noor whips it into the back stick. Kim Si-in scores to make it 1-0 before going to a 1-0 after a header from Mbong. And Tampines, who are another very good club, score. And a little bit of a dodgy run of form. Just 3 win, well, no win in the last 3. And things are looking a little bit rough. We do end up being at Albirex 1-0 away from home before we then get a ball through to our new man, Eddie Garcia, who finds Peruvian Boutron. Keng Fang Pang legs it into Garcia to make it 2-0. A ball on the line for Ghani, gets it in for 2-1 for Zanyon, but Boutron puts it home for 3-1, and we end up beating DPMM in a crunch game. And that's because this season, really every single point did matter. Sailors were going toe-to-toe with us. Every win we got, every win they got. Every draw we got, they would also draw. It was a real ding-dong battle this season. But in this next up game, we do end up winning 3-2, which is a fantastic result away from home. Wang Michael sets it off to the edge of the box, goes in to Big Wang, and he puts it home for 3-2. 2, which is fantastic, and a great victory there. We make it 5 unbeaten and get it back on a little bit of form, which is good to see. A lucky bounce in the box, and Boutron makes it 1-0 for Noor. Goes on the right-hand side, finds Boutron again to make it 2-0. Kanadi whips it into Boutron. Yeah, and he is a hero. A hat-trick for Boutron. Michael finds Wang Nicholas to make it 4-0, and we are back. A fantastic result, and the title race rots up with 8 points clear, but a game in hand for Sailors meant things were not done just yet. There was still time for us to try and bottle this title. And believe it or not, this title was going to come down to the very end of the day, and you're going to see an absolute piece of drama, ladies and gentlemen. A 3-1 loss to Young Lions in this game was absolute heartbreak, but like I said, we were lucky because every game we lost, the Sailors lost, and they did lose 1-0 before we faced them up next. So I decided to use the famous 3-1-3-1-2 formation. We were so clear at the top, there was no doubt in my mind we would be okay. We go 1-0 down, we go 2-0 down before Wang Nicholas makes it 2-1, and you know what, we were back in the game. A penalty for them makes it 3-1. Aziz gets into the box to make it 4-1. And yeah, it was one of them games where I sort of wish we didn't try a 3-1-3-1-2, and that gets Sailors right back into it. 5 points away from us with a game in hand, meaning if we drop points against Tampines, which we did, a 1-0 loss, we were in trouble. They also got a draw, so we were lucky, but 3 losses in the last 4 meant we were on some awful form heading into the final day of the season against Albi Rex. We set up in a 4-3-3 with an inverted sort of cow on the left-hand side. They set up in a basic 4-4-2. We were top of the league, 4 points clear heading into the final day of the season. For some reason, Sailors are going to play after this game, which is very, very odd. I don't understand how it's happened. They go ahead, though, and put things 1-0 up. We get a ball in the box to make things 1-1 from Kieran Teo. We get in the box again to make it 2-1 from Boutron. But we gave away a penalty in the last minute. The game was 2-0 at this point, and they scored it. And we lost 3-2. And you can tell I was absolutely heartbroken. But that doesn't last for very long because we lost, which must have meant they lost as well, because we lifted the title here in Singapore in season number 1. It was absolute scenes on stream again. The completed it, mate. Blurp flying out. We're playing We Are the Champions, and the vibes are so strong. And I've got no idea how this ended up happening. We lost 3-2 in the final day of the season. The Sailors lost 3-1. And we tried to bottle this title, but they bottled it even more than us. So we lifted the Singaporean trophy on 46 points, 14 wins from 24 games. We finally break the duck of Tampines and Sailors dominating. They are ecstatic, the Geylang International fans. At 14-1 preseason odds, we ended up getting the trophy. And you can see that awful run of form at the end. 4 losses in our last 5. Absolutely shocking. Boutron was named player of the season, which is fantastic for him, the young proven striker. Hopefully we see him again. We were manager of the year yet again, as we seem to do so much in this series. But there was the Motors Singapore Cup still to play, and we got through our group stage on 7 points, beating the Sailors before qualifying for the semi-finals against, I believe, the Tanjong Pajor is who we played against in the semi-finals. The first leg was a very easy 1-0 victory. Kieran Teo getting us up 12 minutes in, heading into the semi-final. Second leg, Asman to the right-hand side whips it in to Garcia with a fantastic header. Kim Se-yin then gets it across the goal for 2-0. We were 3-0 up on aggregate, 3-1 after that penalty, and they're going to go ahead and score here again. A deflected goal. Muniz, but a goal for us, makes it 3-2 on the day, 4-2 on aggregate, and we were through to another final and another chance of a trophy against Albi Rex, which didn't go very well. We lost 1-0. I honestly couldn't care less. We won the title, which means we are out of Singapore in just 1 season. Now, this series is a series where I'm looking to complete every single top division on Football Manager. Last time out, we completed Hong Kong. That video is down here and fizzing around in the background. It is an absolute banger, filled with drama, so go ahead and watch that one.